every business, every for-profit business is basically designed and built and started to provide return to the shareholder. This is what we call shareholders value or creating shareholders wealth. That's a fundamental truth, right? So ultimately, business has to achieve that purpose. But in today's complex business models, it's not easy. So first of all, profit maximization has transitioned into value maximization, and value is a much broader concept, and you need a lot of stakeholders into it. So it's not that simple just to create shareholders value. That's why we talk about customer value and employees and other stakeholders. So we'll talk a lot more detail about it. But what is value in a nutshell for the purpose of this program? Value is the difference between the benefits enjoyed by a firm's stakeholders and its cost to produce those benefits. Very simple, right? If you just focus on it, then you will get to the crux of this strategy management. Who are the stakeholders? Not only shareholders and not only customers, but also employees and suppliers, and also society is part of the stakeholders. And what is a strategy in this perspective? A strategy is simply a game plan to create value. Very simple. That how do we take all these components of the business, how do we take these stakeholders, and how do we put them together in a meaningful way to create and maximize our value? That's all about a strategy in a very simple nutshell. It's a value proposition of a business. And value creation is not one way in this case. Value creation is really mutual between all the stakeholders, except shareholders. Shareholders, as I said, the fundamental principle of any business is to create shareholders value, end of the day. But before we reach there, there is a lot of interaction between different stakeholders, value creation for the business, value creation for them. So this flow explains that. Okay, based on this quick understanding of these principles, there are a couple of things to really comprehend at this point of time. So value creation process is twofold. Generally speaking, most business models are based on creating shareholders value through customer value. Most businesses understand that customer is a very critical part of the value creation process. How do they do it? They create twofold principles. Number one, they create high quality product and services, which creates customer value, right? Makes sense. And then and then sell those services and products at a price that results in profit, which will create shareholders value. Now look at these two principles very closely and look at some of the most successful business models. That's exactly what they are doing. Companies like Apple, companies like Amazon, companies like Google, creating high quality product and services and making it available at a highly competitive, acceptable price. Because now which one is more challenging? First, people would look at these two principles and say, first one is really challenging, creating high quality product and services. Really? That's very simple. You put more resources and you can create more compelling product and services. Easy, right? Simple formula. But the main challenge is, more challenging part is how to sell those product and services at a price that creates shareholders value. Because if you don't create shareholders value, the whole purpose of the business model is gone. It's collapsed. So really, selling at a price to result in profit, that's the main challenge. And company like Apple and Amazon is doing fantastically. Apple is creating amazing, fantastic products and making it available at a price which is affordable. People are happy to pay that, right? Now, look from a finance professional's point of view. Where we are, as I said, this is the crux of the successful business models. Creating high-value product and services, creating customer value, and then selling at a price which results in profit. Where we are, finance professionals. We are entirely focused on the second principle. That's what we call financial management. That looking at the revenue, looking at the profit, looking at the cost and saying, this is profitable, this is not profitable. It's very easy for you to go to the marketing department and tell them that these are the products you're selling at loss. Really? We don't understand the full value creation cycle. We are not there. We are even not close to the first principle, high quality product and services, creating customer value. And that goes hand in hand. You cannot manage one or the other in isolation. They really go together. And that's what the business or strategy management is. So I know that all of you are very have high level of expertise in managing profits, prices, revenue, but really we need to understand how the high quality product and services are created, how they are positioned, how they are creating a high value, perceived value in the customer's mind, so they could pay a high price or affordable price for that. So when you see these slides, just contemplate on these things also. And then based on this, we talked about some of the key roles of the strategic CFOs, like if that is really the game of the success for successful businesses, what a strategic CFO has to do: understand what drives value, right? Measure the value and then minimize the leakage of that value. Very simple, but very broad. And not many CFOs are doing that role. Not many. There are exceptions, but not many are doing that. What are we going to do now? So if you really understand that paradigm, and you said that, okay, I'm willing to go into that value creation part and play my role as a strategic CFO, what you need to do, these are the various steps we'll be covering this program. So build up your strategy, knowledge, and skill first. As I said, our education, traditional and professional education, is not providing us with enough tool, number one. Number two, the things are changing so fast, so rapidly, that we need to keep learning. Even if you have attended a strategy program maybe 5 years ago, probably you need to learn it again because it's changing very fast. And then step by step, initiate strategy conversation. Very important. You can only do the strategy conversation when you are knowledgeable, right? When you understand things deeply. And then conversation also extend to making presentations, developing your brand, doing some trainings, and then getting involved in the strategic projects and really initiating an idea and own and drive strategic projects. Approach here is that we'll go module by module, covering different strategy models and framework. Now, there are hundreds of books on strategy, if not thousands. And they have diverse approaches, different ways and approaches to learn strategy. I have picked an approach which is easier and faster to learn and apply, especially for the finance professionals. So my design of this program is meant for finance professionals in mind. The models I have chosen to develop your strategy, knowledge, and your brand are easier to understand based on your financial background, like balance scorecard, like value chain analysis, like enterprise performance management. You will pick up very quickly on these things. The number one thing is for this program is to transition you into the role of a strategic CFO. How? By developing a deep and practical knowledge of the subject of strategy. That's very, very clear, number one. Number two, creating a personal brand. So not only that you develop knowledge, but the world needs to know, your business associate, your CEO, your other people need to know that you are a strategy professional. How would you do that? You will actively take part in a strategy conversation. You will getting involved in the strategy projects, and you would drive a strategy project. So that is how we'll achieve the objective of this program. And some, as I said, you will start doing it during the program. Some you will do after the program. Okay, so my promise in this program is this would be the most valuable business learning of your lifetime. This 3 months would be the most valuable business learning. Number two, you will develop a fresh mindset, a new mindset. How do you see your role in solving business problems? So it's not financial, it's not accounting, it's a business professional. How would you really solve business problems? A fresh mindset. And number three, your confidence to actively participate in strategy conversations at the board level. So as I said, for your personal branding, it's very important that you demonstrate your knowledge. It's not about your MBA or executive MBA degrees. Nobody cares about that, but your practical knowledge, and that you could only establish by active conversation. So these